There's a debate raging online. One side says, quit everything. The other side says, it's natural, indulge. Both claim freedom. Both promise control. But what if neither side is actually in control? What if the adult industry and the NoFap movement are two ends of the same string, each tugging on your dopamine system for attention, each using the same chemistry to keep you coming back? One keeps you overstimulated, the other keeps you, possibly inadvertently, ashamed, and both keep your brain unbalanced. This isn't a moral argument, it's a neurological one. Because whether it's excess or deprivation, your brain reacts in the exact same way. It loses rhythm. Stay with me, because once you see how both extremes pull on the wiring, you'll understand why neither is freedom, only regulation is. Dopamine is the brain's do it again signal. It drives action for survival, for pleasure, for learning. But like strings on a puppet, it only takes a few tugs to make the body move before the mind even realizes it's not in control anymore. The adult industry, well, they know this. It builds endless novelty, every click, every scroll, tiny little tugs that keep you dancing for the next hit. On the other side, the abstinent movement pulls too, through guilt, through shame, through rigid rules. Different direction, same string. Both sides use emotion to control behavior. Neither side teaches internal regulation, because your brain doesn't crave extremes. It craves homeostasis, balance. It's that delicate rhythm where stimulation and rest coexist. And when your brain can't find that balance naturally, it manufactures it artificially. If you push it into artificial highs long enough, it will start serving you artificial lows. What does that look like? Crashes, apathy, emptiness, just to force equilibrium. That's why it feels so confusing. You can't even tell why you feel so low. You're being pulled by the same system. That system that once made you feel so high now makes you feel low. It's not moral weakness, it's biology, and it's trying to find its way back to the balance of homeostasis. When you live between these two extremes, your nervous system never learns rhythm, only reaction. Binge, restrict. Flood, starve. Overstimulate, then suppress. It feels like being pulled in opposite directions, a constant tension between craving and control. One hand promises pleasure, the other demands purity. And in the middle, you lose your center. The pull isn't just psychological, it's physical. You can feel it in your chest. You can feel it in your gut. You can feel your jaw tightening. Your brain shifts into survival mode. It happens because division inside the system means danger. And here's the dark truth. That tension is useful to someone. If you're being pulled, you're not whole. If you're not whole, you're easier to steer. The adult industry thrives on one side, feeding the pull toward escape. The abstinence movement, albeit well-meaning, can thrive on the other hand, inadvertently feeding the pull toward shame, which ultimately perpetuates the cycle. Both keep you reactive. Both keep you searching for relief outside of yourself. And that constant tug of war frays your dopamine wiring on the inside. It makes you feel anxious, exhausted, detached. You start mistaking pressure for progress and emptiness for peace. That's not discipline. That's dysregulation. Your brain doesn't need tighter strings or stronger control. It actually needs freedom of movement, the ability to act from the center, not from the pull of extremes. Because the moment you stop being pulled, you start being present. Real recovery isn't about cutting pleasure out of your life. It is about cutting control away from your habits and redirecting your pleasure circuits toward your real life again. I'm not here to pull you toward one side or the other. Both directions, indulgence and restriction, keep you fragmented. My work is about bringing you back to the center because when you're centered, you're whole. When you're whole, you can finally feel again, fully, calmly, without chaos. In my online practice, I see this every single day. Through brain mapping, we can literally see where the nervous system is dysregulated. We can see in the brain the overactive areas that are chasing stimulation. We can see the underactive regions that have gone numb from suppression. That's not shame. That's data, and it's incredibly freeing. It shows us where the system's been pulled too far and where it's ready to come back into balance. When dopamine stabilizes, your brain remembers how to move on its own again. You don't need extremes to feel alive. You need balance to feel human. That's the turning point. That's when you stop chasing highs and start feeling connection. When you stop reacting and you start responding. And that's exactly what we do inside my Explicit Matter Recovery Program, Pleasure Pathways Reset. We train the nervous system to find rhythm again because the goal isn't to pull you harder. It's to help you stand still, steady, and whole. Once those strings are gone, you realize that your freedom was never about saying no. It was about being able to choose yes from a calm place. That's the real power your brain was built for, not to be pulled, but to participate because your brain isn't a puppet. It's your greatest instrument. And when it's balanced, you don't just move, you create harmony. If you've been pulled in every direction, this is your moment to take the strings back, my friend. Check out the video coming on the screen now, ED, dopamine, and the intimacy disconnect, explained by me. This way you can learn how to rewire your brain for calm, connection, and real control. And as always, remember, control your brain or it will control you. I'll see you next time.